An envious person is the unhappiest. The light heart lives long. Everything that is genius is simple. Before borrowing from a friend, decide which you need most. One can't have two deaths, but you can't avoid one. You can't avoid that which is meant to happen. A man should not be struck when he is down. If you know too much, you would get old very quickly. No point throwing punches after a fight. A good-looking man is pleasant to look at, but it is easier to live with an amusing one. A clever speech is pleasant to listen to. Don't allow yesterday to spend up too much of today. No one else can represent your conscience. In this world, the unseen has power. The good-looking boy may be just good in the face. Even your silence holds a sort of prayer. Don't let the grass grow on the path of friendship. Knowledge that is not used is abused. Never sit while your seniors stand. It is good to be reminded that each of us has a different dream. Old age is not as honorable as death, but most people want it. Dig the well before you are thirsty. Beware the level-headed when he is angry. Be tough as a wolf, lest wolves would eat you. A hint is enough for a wise man. Make a friend of the wolf, but keep your axe ready. Those who love you will make you weep. Those who hate you will make you laugh. Luck would not have happened without misfortune's help. He who offers his back should not complain if it is beaten. The best speech is the precise and concise one. The unlucky person finds bones in his tripe dinner. Be generous to a generous person, and you'd win him. Be generous to a mean person, and he'd rebel on you. Choose the companion before the road. It's better to arrange a funeral than a marriage. A man who cannot tolerate small misfortunes can never accomplish great things. What you don't see, you don't desire. A wise man makes his own decisions, but an ignorant man mindlessly follows the crowd. One moment of patience may ward off great disaster. One moment of impatience may ruin a whole life. A day's planning is done at dawn. A little impatience will spoil great plans. He who thinks too much about every step he takes will always stay on one leg. Better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. Time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. When the heart is at ease, the body is healthy. Enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Dig the well before you are thirsty. A smile will gain you 10 more years of life. Do not look for trouble. Trouble will find you itself. The devil boasted of ruling the whole world, but God didn't give him power over even the pig. If you're scared of wolves, don't go in the woods. If you do something in a hurry, you will make people laugh at you. Don't go to someone else's monastery with your own rulebook. A tongue has no bones, but it can break. Keep the tongue in your mouth a prisoner. If you look for a faultless woman, you will remain a bachelor. Sighs never fall on the ground. Not knowing is not shameful. Not asking is. He who gets up in anger sits down with a loss. The highway is always shorter than the unknown side roads. Tell a lie on Saturday, and you will be ashamed on Sunday. 1 hour of justice is worth 70 hours of prayer. To live in peace, one must be blind, deaf, and mute. The dog that barks much does not bite. Learning is like rowing upstream. Not to advance is to drop back. Teachers open the door, but you must enter by yourself. If you want to find out about the road ahead, then ask about it from those coming back. If you are planning for a year, sow rice. If you are planning for a decade, plant trees. If you are planning for a lifetime, educate people. Learn to walk before you run. Learning is a weightless treasure you can always carry easily. If you want your children to have a peaceful life, let them suffer a little hunger and a little coldness. Happiness is the best cosmetic. Every man is sociable until a cow invades his garden. Men are like bagpipes. No sound comes from them until they are full. You'll never plow a field by turning it over in your mind. May the saddest day of your future be no worse than the happiest day of your past. However long the day, the evening will come. Keeping a secret is a commitment. Lack of intelligence is the greatest poverty. No crowd ever waited at the gates of patience. A smile is the best form of makeup. Be not afraid of going slowly. Be afraid only of standing still. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. One joy scatters 100 griefs. Control your emotions, or they will control you. A man who asks is a fool for 5 minutes. A man who never asks is a fool for life. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without one. If you are patient in one moment of anger, you will escape 100 days of sorrow. Solve one problem, and you keep 100 others away. It is easy to find 1,000 soldiers, but hard to find a good general. Listening well is as powerful as talking well, and is also as essential to true conversation. One who stands straight doesn't fear a crooked shadow. If you don't do stupid things, you won't end up in tragedy. An inch of time is an inch of gold, but you can't buy that inch of time with an inch of gold. If people are of one heart, even losses can become gold. One beam, no matter how big, cannot support an entire house on its own. No matter how tall the mountain is, it cannot block the sun. A lion is a lion even if in a cage. The shroud has no pockets. Ask the experienced rather than the learned. Choose your neighbors before you choose your own. Anger begins with madness, but ends in regret. Bad reputations persist even after the person's death. The misfortunes of some people are advantages to others. The best answer will come from the person who is not angry. He who desires the top must sit up many nights. Seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. Real character defeats pretension. He who demands it all loses it all. Before preparing to improve the world, first look around your own home 3 times. 2 good talkers are not worth 1 good listener. Disaster comes from careless talk. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Too many cooks spoil the broth. A clear conscience never fears midnight knocking. There are two kinds of perfect people, those who are dead, and those who have not been born yet. Married couples tell each other 1,000 things without speech. A clever person turns great troubles into little ones, and little ones into none at all. It's better to walk thousands of miles than to read thousands of books. A man without a smiling face must not open shop. It is easy to open a store. The hard part is keeping it open. Ripe fruit falls by itself, but it doesn't fall in your mouth. The person who is his own master cannot tolerate another boss. It is not the knowing that is difficult, but the doing. If you want to avoid being cheated, ask for prices at 3 different stores. Guessing is cheap, but guessing wrong can be expensive. A bad beginning makes a bad ending. Ill-gotten wealth is not lasting. One who is strongly backed will not be struck in the belly. One reaps what one sows. The mind gets lost when the stomach is hungry. Your chest is the best place for your secrets. What comes quickly goes quickly. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. He who does not know the falcon would grill it. A weapon is an enemy even to its owner. Satan's friendship reaches the prison door. What a man is at 7 is also what he is at 70. One eats, another watches. That's how revolutions are born. To listen to a lie is harder than to tell it. There isn't a sword that would cut off a golden hand. The earth has ears, the wind has a voice. To quote lies is also lying. If a man would live in peace, he should be blind, deaf, and dumb. In the company of the blind, close your eyes. The baker's child goes hungry. You harvest what you sow. Profit is the brother of loss. 2 heads are better than 1. Measure 1,000 times, cut once. Who seeks a faultless friend remains friendless. A heart in love with beauty never grows old. The fly is small, but it is big enough to make one sick. Wine that isn't paid for is drunk twice. What a man suffers is the punishment of his tongue. He who gives little gives from his heart. He who gives much gives from his wealth. What flares up fast extinguishes soon. The sea never buys fish. He that falls by himself never cries. Never become a teacher where you yourself were a pupil. When two jars collide, one breaks. The gardener who loves roses is slave to 1,000 thorns. A single advantage is worth 1,000 sorceries. The Sheikh's miracles are those of his own telling. Life is like a cup of tea. It's all in how you make it. It is as easy to catch a cold in a king's castle as in a shepherd's hut. Don't worry about the money. Look after yourself first, and you'll be happier. There is only one thing worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about. The older the fiddle, the sweeter the tune. Avoid that which requires an apology. Do not postpone today's work to tomorrow. May God bless visitors who don't stay for too long. The wicked or naughty live longer. If you steal, steal a camel, and if you love, love someone as beautiful as the moon. Even if your friend is honey, don't lick them all up. He who gets burned by soup blows on yogurt. The monkey in the eyes of its mother is a gazelle. He who had been bitten by a snake gets scared of the rope. Remember your lover and adore them. Remember their mistakes and leave them. A prudent man will read the letter from back to front. Don't be fooled by how clean the turban is. The soap was probably bought on credit. One bad experience is worth more than 1,000 threats. He who asks for alms blushes once. He who refuses, twice. Man is his own mirror. The wise man says what he knows. The fool doesn't know what he is saying. Forced beauty won't do. The raven sees its chickens as falcons. The devil lives in the still waters. Even a grandma can make mistakes. No misfortune without a blessing in it. The first pancake is always lumpy. It's so cold that the birds are freezing in midair. When one has power, they don't have a need for intelligence. Even a hut feels like paradise when you're with your loved one. Don't say amen to an unacceptable prayer. To beg of the miser is to dig a trench in the sea. Idle men tempt the devil tempts all others. The end result of a good deed is a slap with the palms. The one whose hand is in fire is not like the one whose hand is in water. When brains were passed out, everyone was pleased with their brain. But when fortunes were given out, no one was satisfied with their fortune. I say to him, "It's a bull," and he responds, "Milk it." Think it through and trust God. Receiving blows from a stick is not the same as counting them. If the winds blow, use them. The hungry man dreams of the bread market. Avoid the company of liars, but if you can't, don't believe them. Living with love is happy, but living for love is foolish. Love won't let go of hand. Where there is life, there is hope. Fallen leaves return to their roots. Younger generations will do all right on their own. Everything starts hard. Today's tasks are to be completed today. Hearing 100 times doesn't compare to seeing once. A fast foot arrives first. Mortals are not to be judged by appearance, and the sea is not to be measured. Wherever you are, follow local customs. Those with the same illness commiserate with each other. The good deeds pay good recompense, and the evil pays back with evil. Those who eat with one chopstick will stay hungry. A man who eats biscuits in his bed wakes up feeling terrible. A man urinating on an electric fence will get shocking news. Good medicine tastes bitter. Replace weapons with jade and silk. Food is the first priority of the people. When adversity comes, receive it favorably. Small as it is, the sparrow has all the vital organs. A person leaves a reputation as a swallow leaves its call. 10 years to cultivate wood, 100 years to cultivate a man. The more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in battle. If you always give, you will always have. He who returns from a journey is not the same as he who left. There is no death, only a change of worlds. Everyone who is successful must have dreamed of something. We will be known forever by the tracks we leave. Take only memories. Leave only footprints. Not every sweet root gives birth to sweet grass. Listen, or your tongue will make you deaf. Most of us do not look as handsome to others as we do to ourselves. It is less of a problem to be poor than to be dishonest. All who have died are equal. One rain does not make a crop. Cherish youth, but trust old age. If you see no reason for giving thanks, the fault lies in yourself. Walk lightly in the spring. Mother Earth is pregnant. Sharing and giving are the ways of God. It is better to have less thunder in the mouth and more lightning in the hand. They are not dead who live in the hearts they leave behind. All plants are our brothers and sisters. They talk to us, and if we listen, we can hear them. Those who have one foot in the canoe and one foot in the boat are going to fall into the river. He who would do great things should not attempt them all alone. A brave man dies but once, a coward many times. A pearl is worthless as long as it is in its shell. Be first at the feast and last at the fight. Certain things catch your eye, but pursue only those that capture the heart. If it does not kill you, it will bring you happiness. Discipline your son when he's young, and be his friend when he grows up. Were it not for differences of taste, goods would go unsold. He who digs a pit for his brother falls into it. Good health is a crown worn by the healthy that only the ill can see. Far from sight, far from the heart. If speaking was of silver, then silence is of gold. Those who are close to you are more entitled to your charity. A secret is like a dove. When it leaves my hand, it takes wing. A fall into a ditch makes you wiser. You won't help shoots grow by pulling them up higher. A man grows most tired while standing still. A bird can roost but on one branch. A mouse can drink not more than its fill from a river. A candle lights others and consumes itself. A person of high principles is one who can watch an entire chess game without making the comment. A smile dispels many worries. Do everything at the right time, and one day will seem like 3. Even a dragon struggles to control a snake in its native haunt. Even a hare will bite when it is cornered. Every family has its own issues. Even an upright official finds it hard to settle a family quarrel. Every child born has innate goodness. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. Failure is the mother of success. Arrogance diminishes wisdom. Arrogance is a weed that grows mostly on a dunghill. Be patient, and you'll get what you want. Believe what you see and lay aside what you hear. Close the door that brings in the wind and relax. To use violence is to already be defeated. If you are in the business of revenge, then you better dig 2 graves. If heaven made him, earth can find use for him. If you want to know what water is, don't ask the fish. Those who say it cannot be done should not interrupt the people doing it. Habits are cobwebs at first, chains at last. To get through the hardest journey, we need take only 1 step at a time, but we must keep stepping. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I write and I understand. Facts beat eloquence. Repay good with good. It is the same life whether we spend it crying or laughing. One who smiles rather than rages is always the stronger. The smallest good deed is better than the grandest intention. If you look back, you'll soon be going that way. You can put your boots in the oven, but that doesn't make them biscuits. Mother wit is better than book education. Use your wit as a shield, not as a sword. A dress not worn wears itself out. No pains, no gain. Death takes no bribes. A crown is no cure for a headache. Indecision is fatal, so make up your mind. A brother may not be a friend, but a friend will always be a brother. A father's a treasure, a brother's a comfort, a friend is both. Actions speak louder than words. Wishes won't wash dishes. Money is the root of all evil. Industry pays debts. Despair increases them. Wit is the salt of conversation, not the food. The presence of fools makes wise people stand out. Even a fool has at least one talent. Everyone has their own tastes. Respect others. The reputation of 1,000 years may be determined by the conduct of 1 hour. You can't do anything without risking something. The bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak that resists. Don't offer things to people who are incapable of appreciating them. Boasting begins where wisdom stops. The tongue is but 3 inches long, yet it can kill a man 6 feet high. People judge things by their own experience, not knowing of the wide world outside. Wherever you live, you come to love it. The day you decide to do it is your lucky day. 10 people, 10 colors. Experience nature, and in doing so learn about yourself. To overcome a desperate situation, make a complete turn in one sudden burst. It's easier to give birth than to think about it. Beginning is easy, continuing is hard. There's no accounting for taste, to each his own. Half an hour in a spring evening is worth 1,000 gold pieces. The more stupid the child, the dearer it is. Fear is only as deep as the mind allows. Everyone makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. A frog in a well does not know the great ocean. Who chases 2 rabbits catches neither. To continue and preserve is power. There are hardships, and there are delights. The smart hawk hides its talons. Luck exists in the leftovers. Even sea bream is not delicious when eaten in loneliness. Spilt water will not return to the tray. A samurai, even when he has not eaten, uses his toothpick. A kite breeding a hawk. An apprentice near a temple will recite the scriptures untaught. Clear sky, cultivate, rainy, read. Country is in ruins, and there are still mountains and rivers. Entering the village, obey the village. The mouth is the source of disaster. Forgetting is the plague of knowledge. Give your friends your money and your blood, but don't justify yourself. Your enemies won't believe it, and your friends won't need it. Go with the lesser of 2 evils. Laughing without a reason is rude. He who sees the calamity of other people finds his own calamity light. I curse my own child, but I hate whoever says amen. If you are charitable, you are rich. Opportunity knocks at the door only once. To forget one's ancestors is to be a brook without a source, a tree without root. Make happy those who are near, and those who are far will come. To talk much and arrive nowhere is the same as climbing a tree to catch a fish. One generation plant the trees, and another gets the shade. There are many paths to the top of the mountain, but the view is always the same. He who depends on himself will attain the greatest happiness. If you don't want anyone to know it, don't do it. Be not disturbed at being misunderstood. Be disturbed rather at not being understanding. One meal won't make a fat man. An idiot can't be cured of idiocy unless they die. Dead men tell no tales. A bad wife spells 100 years of bad harvest. If you make a mistake, don't hesitate to correct it. A liar's house is on fire, and no one believes him. A hungry dog will bring a lion down. Who has power in his hands has no need to lie. He uses violence. A true word needs no oath. No fat mouse in a widow's house. He that speaks truth must have one foot in the stirrup. Coffee should be black as hell, strong as death, and sweet as love. Vinegar that costs nothing is sweeter than honey. Man is harder than iron, stronger than stone, and more fragile than a rose. He who steals honey licks his fingers. Others are always interested in us, just as we are interested in them. He who has no children has one sorrow. He who has children has 1,000 sorrows. When violence comes into the house, law and justice leave through the chimney. Vinegar that is too sour even taints the glass it's kept in. If you have an opinion, you better be determined. In haste, there is regret, but in patience and care there is peace and safety. It's better to avoid mistakes altogether than do something that you should apologize for after. It's better to fix what you have than wait to get what you don't have. Evil cause, evil effect. Ocean 1,000, mountain 1,000. Drunken life, dreamy death. Meeting person always separated. There are even bugs that eat knotweed. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. The greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that is it too low and we reach it. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Be humble. Even an expert can make mistakes. Cold tea and cold rice are bearable, but not cold looks and cold words. Things that are weak will break, as men do who think they are strong. If you weep for all the sorrows in this world, in the end, you will have no eyes. A defeated wrestler is not tired of wrestling. A man will sacrifice his head to conquer a heart. A woman has advice only for another woman. I know nothing about it. I haven't seen it. That is the best answer. The governor must fill your jars. Don't speak sweet words when your deeds are of stone. The foot of a lamp is always the least lit. Good advice is given. Good esteem is no given. Nothing works unless you would rather be doing it. None is so rich as that he can throw away a friend. The dog that is going to bite does not show its teeth. Even though you know 1,000 things, ask the man who knows one. If small holes aren't fixed, then big holes will bring hardship. Timely return of a loan makes it easier to borrow a second time. A bird in the hand is worth than two in the bush. A closed mind is like a closed book, just a block of wood. A book is like a garden carried in the pocket. A book holds a house of gold. You can't tell a book by looking at its cover. A single conversation with a wise man is worth a month's study of books. It's better to be without a book than to believe a book entirely. If your strength is small, don't carry heavy burdens. If your words are worthless, don't give advice. An old friend is better than two new ones. A bad dancer blames his testicles. Silver in the beard, the devil in the ribs. A dog on the hay will not eat it, and won't let others eat it. Make a fool pray to God, and they will smash their own forehead. Parents who are afraid to put their foot down usually have children who step on their toes. If you must play, decide upon 3 things at the start: the rules of the game, the stakes, and the quitting time. A bit of fragrance clings to the hand that gives flowers. A child's life is like a piece of paper on which every person leaves a mark. A filthy mouth will not utter decent language. A fool judges people by the presents they give him. A gem is not polished without rubbing, nor a man perfected without trials. A nation's treasure is in its scholars. Pearls don't lie on the seashore. If you want one, you must dive for it. With true friends, even water drunk together is sweet enough. Insanity is doing the same thing in the same way and expecting a different outcome. Love is not about possession. It's all about appreciation. A friend to everybody is a friend to nobody. Love at first sight. It's generally used for people, but you can also use it for other physical objects. Coming events cast their shadows before them. All things are difficult before they are easy. A straight foot is not afraid of a crooked shoe. Time is money, and it is difficult for one to use money to get time. You don't have to know much to read, but you do to cook. The thief can lie. Those he has stolen from cannot. The real capital of a man is a mirror worth 2 cents. The father donated a vineyard to his son. The son didn't give a single bunch of grapes to the father. A stupid friend is a greater plague than a wise enemy. Abundance is from activity. The horse can die from too much barley. Having 2 ears and 1 tongue, we should listen twice as much as we speak. The luckiest dies in his cradle. If you fall in a river, hang on to a snake. When God wants to please a poor man, he lets him lose his donkey and then helps him find it again. The world is like that. One gives a melon, the other gets the stomach cramps. One must ask about the delight of opium from one who smokes it. Out of 10 men there are 9 wives. No matter how far you have gone on a wrong road, turn back. You can proclaim the truth also in a friendly way. The eagle does not feed on flies. The physician prescribes the medicine. The vulture waits for the body. Where there are no sheep, they call the goat princess. Cotton cannot play with fire. Where conceit and ignorance sit, grass will not grow again. Happiness is like crystal. When it shines the most, it soon cracks. Better to stumble than make a slip of the tongue. Whatever shall be, will be. The devil is not so frightful as he is painted. Gold and silver nests can't beat one's family kennel. Govern a family as you would cook a small fish, very gently. He who sacrifices his conscience to ambition burns a picture to obtain the ashes. Man's schemes are inferior to those made by heaven. Men trip not on mountains, they trip on molehills. Numerous friends means no deep friendship. Often one finds one's destiny just where one hides to avoid it. Radishes and greens, each have those who love them. Small men think they are small. Great men never know they are great. Those who just want speed don't succeed. The weakness of the enemy makes our strength. Beware of the man who does not talk, and the dog that does not bark. Do not judge your neighbor until you walk 2 moons in his moccasins. Poverty is a noose that strangles humility and breeds disrespect for God and man. A people without a history is like the wind over buffalo grass. The frog does not drink up the pond in which he lives. With all things and in all things, we are relatives. Life is not separate from death. It only looks that way. You can't wake a person who is pretending to be asleep. There is nothing as eloquent as a rattlesnake's tail. A rocky vineyard does not need a prayer, but a pickaxe. Many have fallen with the bottle in their hand. Everything the power does, it does in a circle. Remember that your children are not your own, but are lent to you by the Creator. Day and night cannot dwell together. If you ask for directions rudely, you might end up many miles from your destination. Listen to all, pluck a feather from every passing goose, but follow no one absolutely. Cheat your conscience, and a whole life's happiness is destroyed. If you're poor, change, and you'll succeed. A good start is half the work. Lose an hour in the morning, and you will be looking for it all day. There's no fireplace like your own. If you're enough lucky to be Irish, you're lucky enough. A face without freckles is like a sky without stars. Big fish eat small fish. No shame in asking questions, even to people of lower status. Deep doubts, deep wisdom. Small doubts, small wisdom. The palest ink is better than the best memory. An ant may well destroy a whole dam. Only when all contribute their firewood can they build up a strong fire. Age and time do not wait for people. A little fire that warms is better than a big fire that burns. Who keeps his tongue keeps his friends. Better to be a man of character than a man of means. Lie down with dogs, and you'll rise with fleas. A cabin with plenty of food is better than a hungry castle. God made time, but man made haste. All the world's a stage, and most of us are desperately unrehearsed. Everyone admires his own character. Do not leave to the morning the business of the evening. A horse knows his rider by his spurs. Judge the linen by the hem, the girl by the mother. People who make the most or the loudest threats are the least likely to take action. Too much sympathy with the unfortunate makes you unhappy. Better your enemy who you recognize than a dark friend. A good laugh and a long sleep are the best cures in the doctor's book. After 3 days without reading, talk becomes flavorless. If you work hard enough at it, you can grind even an iron rod down to a needle. It takes more than one cold day for the river to freeze 3 feet deep. What you hear may be false. What you see is true. Experience the beauties of nature, and in doing so learn about yourself. We learn little from victory, much from defeat. The rain falls on the just and the unjust. Our first teacher is our own heart. One has to face fear or forever run from it. When a man moves away from nature, his heart becomes hard. It is easy to be brave from a distance. Do not pray when it is raining if you do not pray when the sun is shining. Ask questions from your heart, and you will be answered from the heart. The bird who is eaten cannot fly with the bird that is hungry. Even a small mouse has anger. Listen to the whispers, and you won't have to hear the screams. Make my enemy brave and strong, so that if defeated, I will not be ashamed. Man belongs to earth. Earth does not belong to man. It is no longer good enough to cry peace. We must act peace, live peace, and live in peace. A good chief gives, he does not take. A good soldier is a poor scout. Man's law changes with his understanding of man. Only the laws of the Spirit remain always the same. Force, no matter how concealed, begets resistance. If a man is as wise as a serpent, he can afford to be as harmless as a dove. All the flowers of all the tomorrows are in the seeds of today. A danger foreseen is half avoided. Treat the earth well. It was not given to you by your parents. It was loaned to you by your children. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. You already possess everything necessary to become great. Treachery darkens the chain of friendship, but truth makes it brighter than ever. Tell me, and I'll forget. Show me, and I may not remember. Involve me, and I'll understand. No river can return to its source, yet all rivers must have a beginning. Certain things catch your eye, but pursue only those that capture the heart. To touch the earth is to have harmony with nature. The soul would have no rainbow if the eye had no tears. Seek wisdom, not knowledge. Knowledge is of the past. Wisdom is of the future. A guilty conscience is a hidden enemy. Regard heaven as your father, earth as your mother, and all things as your brothers and sisters. We always return to our first loves. It takes 1,000 voices to tell a single story. When we show our respect for other living things, they respond with respect for us. Take only what you need and leave the land as you found it. If we wonder often, the gift of knowledge will come. The rainbow is a sign from Him who is in all things. Don't be afraid to cry. It will free your mind of sorrowful thoughts. All dreams spin out from the same web. One kind word can warm 3 winter months. Even when months and days are long, life is short. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. Take a bad or desperate situation and turn it into a successful one. If you understand everything, you must be misinformed. No use shutting the stable door after the horse is bolted. Fallen blossom doesn't return to the branch. A broken mirror cannot be made to shine. Don't cover your head, but expose your bottom. Beautiful young people are acts of nature, but beautiful old people are works of art. Don't become broke by trying to look rich. Everyone has their faults, no matter how perfect they may seem, even you. The well-fed does not understand the lean. Do not resent growing old. Many are denied the privilege. The devil tempts all other men, but idle men tempt the devil. He who has to be hanged will not drown. The bear knows 7 songs, and they are all about honey. The buyer of the rotten beans is the blind man. You don't steal a bitter eggplant. When it sees money, the flute will play itself. God made low branches for birds that cannot fly so well. He ran away from the rain and was caught in a hailstorm. Oh, misfortune, I forgive you when you come alone. You cannot forge a good sword from bad iron. When a rich man falls, they say it was an accident. When a poor man falls, they say that he was drunk. No flock without dog and shepherd. Beware of the anger of a patient man. He who travels has stories to tell. If you do not sow in the spring, you will not reap in the autumn. Experience is the comb that life gives a bald man. A man who has lived long enough to lose his hair will no doubt know a thing or two about life. It's better to spend money like there's no tomorrow than to spend tonight like there's no money. Never scald your lips with another man's porridge. You've got to do your own growing, no matter how tall your father was. If you buy what you don't need, you might have to sell what you do. A building without foundation is soon demolished. He who controls his tongue saves his head. Every dog has its day. Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. It takes 2 to tango. If at first you don't succeed, try again. The neck of the woods. Not out of the woods yet. Practice what you preach. Practice makes perfect. Let comments go in one ear and out the other. Every sin carries its own punishment. A person does not seek luck. Luck seeks the person. Listen with both ears, but speak with only one tongue. One arrow does not bring down two birds. Two captains sink a ship. Silence is music to a wise man. Who has never been burned in the sun won't know the value of shadow. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. An ounce of discretion is worth a pound of wit. Excuses are merely nails used to build a house of failure. Arrogance is a roadblock on the highway of wisdom. An arrogant bug is a cocky roach. Arrogance is a kingdom without a crown. The more women look in their glass, the less they look in their house. He that tells his wife news is but newly married. To keep a customer demands as much skill as to win one. Where there's a will, there's a way. Good actions are never lost. You cannot get into paradise without a guide. To a good rider, right or left makes no difference. Everything is worn out with usage, except for experience. The most difficult master is the servant who became master. Wit without discretion is a sword in the hand of a fool. A woman and a glass are never out of danger. To wash a pig is to waste both water and soap. Give someone an inch and they'll take a mile. Honesty is the best policy. All propaganda is lies, even when one is telling the truth. Every gray cloud has a silver lining. Let bygones be bygones. If you want to keep a secret, you must also hide it from yourself. Freedom is the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. He that scatters thorns, let him not go barefoot. A watched pot never boils. A man in a passion rides a mad horse. He that's carried down the stream need not row.